$3,938.58. That's the monthly check the VA pays a veteran at 100% in 2026. And if you're a veteran with active cancer, that rating is not something you have to claw your way up to. It's close to automatic. Here's the part nobody warns you about. That 100% does not last forever on its own. There's a 6-month clock and an exam waiting at the end of it that can quietly take it back.
This is Erica, and that is the piece to hold on to today. Under the VA's own rating schedule, a cancer that is active or being treated rates at 100%. That is $3,938.58 a month for a veteran alone at this year's rates.
I'm Isabella, and that rating holds the entire way through the fight. Through the surgery, the chemotherapy, the radiation. By the end of it, the check has been landing the whole time, when a veteran needs it most.
Leo here, and this is not one narrow cancer. The same rule covers a blood cancer like acute nonlymphocytic leukemia and respiratory cancers, adenocarcinoma of the trachea, adenosquamous carcinoma of the lung. Different cancers, 100% each while it's active.
Careful though, 100% today does not mean 100% forever.
Right, 6 months after your treatment ends, the VA schedules a mandatory exam. It re-rates you on what the cancer left behind, the residuals, not on the cancer itself. And for some veterans, that number drops.
But there's good news layered under all of this too. For a lot of veterans, cancer is presumptive under the PACT Act. Burn pits, Agent Orange, radiation. If you were exposed, you may not have to prove your service caused it at all.
This is where the VA's official rulebook comes in, the rating schedule that hands every condition a code and a percentage. Nothing we say today is opinion. It's the schedule, and we'll name the exact codes. We're covering all of it. The 100%, the 6-month clock, the PACT Act shortcut, and how to protect the rating once you have it. Everything, plus the full conditions list and free tools, lives at va.professorerica.com. Before I hand it to the panel, one question shows up under every cancer video we make, and Isabella pulled it off the comments. Isabella, take it for us.
Yes, the one everyone asks is this. If cancer is an automatic 100%, why doesn't every veteran with cancer just get it? And the honest answer is, most can. The catch is proving service connection, and then surviving that 6-month re-exam. Both are winnable, and we'll show you how.
That's the whole game. Cancer gets you to 100% fast. Staying there is the skill. Let's start with why active cancer pays the maximum in the first place. So why does active cancer jump straight to 100%? When a bad back has to fight for 30, the answer is written into the schedule, and it is not up for debate.
Think of it like triage. The VA treats an active malignancy as totally disabling on its face because you are in the fight of your life. Here's the ruling. While the cancer is active or you are in a treatment phase, the schedule assigns 100%. There is no partial score for active cancer.
And it has a code. A blood cancer like acute nonlymphocytic leukemia rates under diagnostic code 7703 in the part of the schedule that covers the blood.
By the end of it, every cancer routes to a code like that. The respiratory cancers, adenocarcinoma of the trachea, adenosquamous carcinoma of the lung, all share one. Diagnostic code 6819.
And that code says the same thing for the windpipe and for the lung. A malignant tumor anywhere in the breathing system reads as 100% while it's active. Same logic, whether it starts in the trachea or deep in the lung.
And the 100% does not blink while they treat you. The regulation literally says the rating continues beyond the cessation of surgery, radiation, and anti-neoplastic chemotherapy. In plain words, it keeps paying through the whole treatment run.
Wait, so the check starts before you've even beaten it?
That's exactly it. You don't wait to win. Once the VA grants it, the 100% reaches back to your claim date, and it pays while you're still in treatment.
There is an even faster door for a lot of veterans. Under the PACT Act, many cancers are presumptive. Respiratory cancer of any type, the blood and lymphatic cancers, brain, pancreatic, and more. If you served near burn pits, or around Agent Orange, or radiation, the VA presumes your service caused it,
which skips the single hardest part of any claim.
It does. Presumptive means you don't have to prove the link between your cancer and your service. But you do still need the diagnosis in your record. No documented cancer, no rating yet. That's the one piece the PACT Act doesn't hand you.
So the 100% is real, and for many it's fast. But hold on to that word active, because the whole story turns on what happens when the cancer stops being active. That's the 6-month clock, and it's next. Before we keep going, one small favor that actually moves the needle. If this is landing for you, tap like, then subscribe, and turn on the bell so you do not miss the rest. 2 taps, completely free, and it pushes this in front of more people who need it.
Here is the moment that catches veterans off guard, and I want to walk it slowly because it is where the good news gets complicated.
The 100% for active cancer is not a permanent rating. It holds while the disease is active and while you are in treatment. But the schedule builds in a hard checkpoint the day your treatment ends. Let me lay the timeline out so nobody gets surprised by it.
6 months. That's the number to circle. 6 months after your last surgery or your last round of chemo or radiation, the VA orders a mandatory examination.
And that exam does not measure the cancer because the goal of treatment was to remove it. It measures what the cancer and the treatment left behind. The scarred lung, the reduced breathing, the lingering effects on the blood, the residuals.
So the exam can lower you.
It can, if you're in remission, with no evidence of disease and little damage left. The rating can drop below 100. That's the outcome we owe you honestly, because a veteran who doesn't expect it can feel blindsided.
Hold on. So beating the cancer can cost you the rating?
In the coldest sense, yes, and there's a logic to it. The 100% exists because active cancer is totally disabling. When it's gone, the VA rates what remains. But hear the flip side, because it matters just as much.
And if the cancer comes back, it's active again, and the 100% resets. A recurrence is not a footnote. It restarts the whole clock at the maximum.
So mark your own calendar the day treatment ends. This is what that 6-month window looks like, and it starts from your last treatment, not from any fixed date on a page.
And you do not walk into that exam empty-handed. Gather your records first so the rater sees exactly what damage remains. That is how a real residual keeps paying instead of quietly reading as 0.
Which brings us to the number that actually matters at that exam. What does a residual pay and how far can it fall? That's next, in real dollars. A code doesn't pay anything. A percentage does. So let's turn the re-exam into a real paycheck in this year's numbers and watch how far it can move.
Start at the top, where every active cancer claim begins. 100% pays $3,938.58 a month for a veteran alone in 2026.
Now say the lung healed but your breathing is permanently down. A moderate respiratory residual might land at 60%. That pays $1,435.03 a month.
2 cents, Leo. 1435.02.
2 cents, you're right, 1435.02. And on a number like this, the cents are the point because it is exact and it is real.
So the drop from 100 to 60 is about $2,500 a month.
Which is the consequence of walking into that exam without your evidence. $2,500 a month is $30,000 a year, and it can turn on whether the rater sees your breathing test or does not.
And there's one more layer people leave on the table. If the cancer, or the surgery to remove it, costs you a body part, special monthly compensation can stack on top of the scheduler rating. Under 38 CFR 3.350, the loss or loss of use of certain organs pays an additional amount, separate from the percentage.
Now the fear question. The whole room is thinking it, so let's put it on the table. Isabella, go ahead.
Yes, the blunt one. If the re-exam re-rates me lower, can the VA just take my 100% away overnight?
No, and this is the protection most veterans never hear about. Under 38 CFR 3.105, subsection E, the VA can't simply cut you. It has to send a proposed reduction in writing, with reasons. Then it must give you 60 days to submit new evidence and 30 days to request a hearing before anything changes.
So a re-rate is a conversation, not an ambush, which is exactly why the exam itself is worth getting right. Let's bring in someone who works these claims cold.
Every dollar we just walked runs through paperwork and one appointment. Get them wrong and a real cancer claim stalls, or a real residual reads on paper as nothing.
And the piece veterans fumble is the nexus, the doctor's note linking the cancer to your service. If your cancer is presumptive under the PACT Act, that link is assumed. If it is not, you have to build it.
And the standard for that link is gentler than most veterans fear. At least as likely as not. 50-50 is enough. You don't have to prove it beyond doubt. You have to tip it to even.
This is exactly the kind of thing you want from someone who works these claims every week. Let's get her on the line.
Glad to jump in, and you named the hinge already, the nexus. On a cancer claim, I want 3 things: the current diagnosis, the cancer itself in your records, and one clean clinician sentence saying it is at least as likely as not connected to service if it is not already presumptive. Where does it go? VA Form 21-526EZ. You name the cancer in the condition column exactly, and if it came from an exposure like burn pits or Agent Orange, you name that cause right beside it.
Wait, back pay. How far back does it actually reach?
Your effective date is generally the day the VA received your claim. The regulation 38 CFR 3.400 says the date of the claim or the date entitlement arose, whichever is later. So file the day you are ready, not the day you feel brave enough. The clock starts when you file.
Hold on. Fully cured, nothing left behind. Are they just out?
Straight answer, and I won't sugarcoat it. If you're cured with 0 residual and no recurrence, the re-exam can re-rate you down, even to 0. But the exceptions are real. Any lasting damage stays rated. Lose a body part to it, and special monthly compensation stacks. And if it ever comes back, you're active again at 100%.
That is the honest guardrail. File where there is a diagnosis and, ideally, lasting damage. Do not expect a clean, fully healed cancer with nothing left to pay a check on its own forever.
One last thing, then I will get off the line. Read your own medical records before that re-exam. If a doctor already documented reduced lung function or lasting fatigue, half your residual case is already sitting in the file. That is where I would start.
That's the part no pamphlet hands you. Thank you for jumping on the line. Here's the fork we owe you honestly. Say the VA proposes to reduce your 100% after the cancer is gone. Erica says fight to protect the rating. Leo says an accurate reduction is not the enemy and your energy is better spent elsewhere. Let's pressure test both.
Protect it. The VA has to prove real, sustained improvement before it lowers you, and 3.105 gives you 60 days to answer with evidence. Bring your worst breathing test, your fatigue records, your specialist's note. Many reductions get withdrawn when a veteran actually responds. Silence is what loses the rating.
Slow down. I'd put real money on this. If you're truly in remission with no residual, the 100% was never meant to be permanent, and fighting a correct reduction is a fight you lose while it drains you. I'd rather spend that energy maximizing the residual rating, the SMC, and any secondary conditions.
Leo, where's your actual line? When do you stop fighting?
When the medical evidence genuinely shows no disease and no lasting damage, that's not a robbery, that's the rule working. But the second there's real residual, breathing loss, a lung or a voice box gone, ongoing fatigue, I'm with Erica, you fight, because then the reduction is wrong.
That's the case I'm protecting. Not the cured veteran, the underrated one.
Then we agree more than it sounded. Respond every time. Just do not confuse a lawful re-rate with a betrayal, or you will burn months on a fight the record already settled.
Erica, does the effort argument move your always?
It sharpens it. I'll give Leo this. Where a veteran's genuinely cured with nothing left, the honest move is to accept the residual and pivot, chase the SMC and the secondaries, not wage a doomed appeal. Where there's real damage, always respond. Both things are true.
So here's where the panel lands, and the regulation backs it. When the VA proposes a reduction, never stay silent. 3.105, subsection E, hands you 60 days to submit evidence and 30 to request a hearing, so use them. If real residual damage remains, fight, because the reduction is wrong. If you are genuinely cured with nothing left, accept the accurate rating and pivot your energy to the residual, the SMC, and secondary claims. That's the honest verdict. That verdict is a rule you can act on tonight. Respond to every proposed reduction, bring evidence when damage remains, and let a truly accurate rating stand. Erica, Leo, thank you. Let's bring it home. Here's the whole map in one line. Active cancer rates 100%, that's $3,938.58 a month, and it holds through treatment. Then a 6-month clock, a re-exam, and a rating that reflects whatever the cancer left behind.
The piece I'd hold onto is the protection. They cannot cut you overnight. 3.105 gives you 60 days and a hearing. Both things are true, the rating can change and you always get to answer.
Mine is the recurrence rule. If the cancer comes back, you are active again at 100%. By the end of it, that is the safety net most veterans never realize they have.
And mine is the PACT Act. If your cancer is presumptive, you skip proving the cause entirely. For a lot of veterans, that turns a hard claim into a fast one.
So here's your move tonight. Pull up your own records and check 2 things: that your cancer is documented and whether it is on the presumptive list. If both are true, most of your claim is already built. Hit subscribe because this series climbs the whole VA system one benefit at a time, and a like tells the algorithm to show it to the next veteran who needs it. Next time we stay on the conditions list, and here's the hook. There's a way a cancer can keep paying even after the VA calls you cured, and it comes down to one word on your exam. Wait until you see how that works. And before you go, one for the comments. Did the VA re-rate you after cancer treatment? And did you respond to the proposed reduction or find out too late? Passion without the homework is just noise, so do the homework. Until next time.
That was an A-, Maya. The minus is just because I cannot help myself. This is Professor Erica. Thanks for watching and signing off.